Hey y'all, welcome back to Moments with Miss Amy. I am so glad you joined me. So today's conversation is going to go a little bit different. I don't know. I've just been feeling it on my heart that this is something that I need to talk to you a little bit about, and so that's what I'm going to do. First of all, what I really felt like I needed to share right off the bat is that I love you. I know some of you are like, yo, that's kind of weird. Like, you don't even know me. Others of you are like, you can't. I'm not lovable. And that's where I'm looking to try to help you to see that you are. You are lovable and you are worth it. And maybe you're not hearing it enough. Maybe, you feel that, the thoughts that you have, the things that you've done, things like that, cause you not to be lovable. And I don't know, sometimes we can give off a pretty gruff exterior and make it hard for people to love us. So I know I've done that myself. And so, but you are worth it. You are lovable and you are important. And why would I tell you that I love you when I don't even know you? Like, I don't even know who's watching this at the moment. Well, the reason why is because I'm a believer. I have a relationship with God. And so I feel like a lot of times when I do things that I feel Jesus leading me to, say and do certain things. And I really feel like before I shot this video today, that Jesus was leading me to tell you that you're loved. Not just by me, but you're loved by him as well. And so what I wanted to kind of go into today a little bit is going to touch on some things that are personal to me. And so that's why I decided today, instead of, being my big bouncy self and, jumping all around in my brace and, talking with you, that I would actually just pull up a chair and sit here and have this conversation with you. So one of the things I really love is when speakers have a fireside chat, where they pull up the chair and they sit down and just lay it out, and so that's what I thought I would do today. So if you're standing right now and you're able to, pull up a chair, sit down with me. You know me, I've got the scripture written down. So this is 2 Timothy 1:7. For the Spirit God gave us does not make us timid, but gives us power, love, and self-discipline. That's a really strong one for me right now, because my area that I feel like I really need to work on is the self-discipline. I am notorious for pushing things to the last minute and getting stuff accomplished. I don't know. I kind of thrive on the adrenaline, I think. I don't know. But it is an area, that I'm working on. And if you go through and you check out my videos, you can pinpoint it. You can see where A, I've talked about it, or B, where you can tell. Like, girl, I'm sure this came in just on the wire. And be like, yeah, you're right. It's just something that I do. But I don't know, breaking this verse down. The Spirit God gave us. Whether you're a believer or not, chances are you do believe that within inside of us, whether you believe in a soul or energy or spirit, most people I tend to come across believe there's something in us. I believe that it's a spirit that God has given us, and that we are created in his image, and that it's energy that runs through us. But he says that what he gave us does not make us timid. I want to stop there for just a second, because, I see so many times people withdraw into themselves and be timid. And I know, believe it or not, even as in your face and outgoing and loving as I am, it happens to me too. I catch myself like kind of withdrawing and not wanting to speak up. A lot of times I think for myself, the reason why is I think that either A, I talk too much, which is a pretty good reason why I do videos, because, I can talk as much as I want, and you can listen as long as you want, and then pause or leave. I hope you don't leave. I hope you finish them. But when I'm around people, sometimes I'll catch myself. It feels like I'm talking way too much and keep going, or talk too fast. And so I'll have to slow myself down or stop and think, with what I'm saying, am I just continually repeating the same thing? And so sometimes I get kind of timid that way. But I notice it in others, sometimes that their behavior, that they come across kind of timid and shy, unless you happen to get it just right. And you talk to them about something that they're passionate about, something that they love, something that interests them. And even sometimes if it's something that really frustrates them or angers them, you will get them to come out of that shell a bit. I make it a point to try to find out what it is that makes people tick, what makes them happy, what makes them excited, and draw that out in them, because I love to see that energy come forth, that, come out of that timidness, to be able to come out and just tell me all excited about something that they're passionate about, that they care about, that they know a lot about. I really enjoy that. I enjoy seeing people, ignite, just like that flame burst within them. So I that's something that I do, is try to draw that out. It also says it gives us power and love and self-discipline. So I wanted to kind of speak on that one a little bit, because you may not feel very powerful. I know sometimes it's a hard thing for us to feel like we really have power and control over our lives, when oftentimes there's things that's happening we have no power or control over, at least as far as we can see in the natural. But I fully believe that we have more power than we realize, because we have the power to let whatever is happening lift us up or tear us down. Throughout these last 2 years, with everything we've been dealing with COVID, coronavirus, whatever you'd like to call it, there has been a lot of fear that's been put out there. There's been a lot of anger, hatred, a lot of negativity that has come through. But there's also been a lot of goodness. There's been a lot of kindness, concern, and sharing. I've had more people hold a door open for me in the last 2 years when I've been out. I know at times, of course, we weren't out. But pay attention to that. People are more often doing that. They're stepping out. They're using their foot to hold the door open so nobody has to touch the door handle, that kind of thing. But even in this time of pandemic and fear, some people are choosing not to be afraid. Now, I'm not talking about, hey, I'm blatantly not wearing a mask and going out even if I'm sick and yada, yada. Y'all, please, we're not even going there, all right? What I'm talking about is the people that are choosing not to dwell in all of the news and all of the frenzy and fear that has been stirred up, but to realize, okay, so there's something bad going on. Y'all, COVID's bad. It is. People get sick. There are people dying. People are working all kinds of crazy hours to cover because of lack of help. It is a very challenging time. It really is. But what's being created during this time is something that people have a choice of what they want to create. I've seen new businesses start. I've seen families improve their relationships, spend more quality time together. I've seen people be kinder to other people. I have seen so many good things that have come from it. I've also seen some bad things. And the crazy thing is how much of it's by choice. Obviously, somebody getting really, really sick from COVID and dying, that's not a choice, okay? But choosing to take positive steps and positive measures in your life to take the right kind of protection. If you're driving and you have people in your car having your window cracked or not circulating your inside air, that's a good thing. There's certain things you can do. Wash your hands. Don't go out if you're sick. And when you're home sick or home because you're not going out as frequently, you're being more cautious of what you're doing when you go out, use that time in a positive way. I've got a friend that literally has gone back to college. She's older than I am. I am so stinking proud of her. But she decided to use this time to think about what she wanted to do for her future. And so she's doing it. She's going back to school. She's going to get a degree and she's going to be able to help other people. I am so stoked about that. I think it's incredible. So even though sometimes you may feel like you don't have control over your situation, if you can stop, take a breath, take a look, realize that you have more power, self-discipline, and love than you realize, you can probably change at least your outlook on what's going on. Now, how does your outlook change anything? That's the question. You'd be amazed at how much it changes. When we dwell in the negativity, when we're feeling depressed and discouraged, or when we're feeling very anxious, there's a lot happening with inside of our body. Not just like what's going on and our expressions and the way that we're just aware of how we're feeling. But there's also a lot of negativity that's running around within our body when we're dwelling in the negative. To me, I feel like the best way to explain it is just kind of like it brings a gloom inside of you. So if your outlook changes on your situation and you choose not to look at it in a discouraging, depressing, timid, fearful way, and you choose instead to have some self-discipline over that, and you choose to have control over how you're feeling, it just makes you feel stronger and more powerful. At least for me, it does. Now, you may be sitting there thinking, lady, you don't even know what you're talking about. Well, let me tell you, I deal with anxiety. I'm blessed because I'm not one who deals with it really strong all the time, but I do have it. And it hits me in some of the craziest times, times that I would just, it doesn't make any sense, and I think that happens to a lot of people. I'm not a doctor. I don't even play one on TV. So you know what? I could be wrong. But I feel like that's how anxiety works. Like it sneaks up and comes at us. So for me, an example, it just happened to me a couple of days ago. I was out with family and friends. And, well, actually family, but they're my friends too. So, and we went inside of a restaurant. And we went to sit down at a table. There was a number of us. And it was a round booth, where you climb in and you slide around. So I climbed into the booth and I slid around and I had people right around me. I wouldn't be able to get out without getting attention and getting people to move. And even then I still had to scoot around to get out. So my heart started to race. My palms felt sweaty. My breathing changed. And I noticed all those signs. And I knew what was happening. Because I've been in those spots before, I knew what was going on. And I knew I had two different options. I could let everybody know what was happening, request that we change tables, ask that I sit on the outside edge, take off and go outside for a few minutes and go for a walk, whatever. But I knew that my family would then be concerned and be keeping an eye on me after that and doing are you okay? Are you sure you're okay? Is this bothering you? Oh my goodness, I didn't know you had these problems. You know what I mean? Just all of those things that we do, when we know something's wrong. And this was a special time, we were being together with family. We were having fun. And doggone it, I was going to have fun. So I refused to accept it. I did the steps that I've learned myself to do when I feel something like this happening. I stopped myself. I took some slow, deep breaths. Usually about 3 of them helps. I find that if I try to do too many slow, deep breaths, then I get going and kind of like head for hyperventilating. So that's not good. So I just did 3. And I looked around. And the restaurant that we were in had a couple of walls that had a lot of windows. And so For some reason, seeing outdoors always helps me to settle. So that's what I did was I focused on, look, there's doors right there. You can see out, look out the windows. And I reminded myself of where the exits were in the building. I guess that's something that's just sometimes been a habit that, I pay attention to like where we came in and I notice if there's any other doors that I can get out. This restaurant I happen to know, so I already knew about a couple of doors that I couldn't see, but I knew they were there as well. And I just did that. I just focused on those things and refused to accept that the anxiety was going to overtake me. I know that doesn't always work. I know even for myself, doing those steps doesn't always work. Sometimes I've had to bring in things like essential oils because I feel like if I bring a different smell to me, that it kind of pulls in some other senses and it can help me to settle a little bit more. I don't know what things will help you, and I hope maybe some of the things I've shared with you will help you. But I also hope that it helps you to see that you can take control. Maybe not always. And sometimes in the beginning when you're trying to do that and trying to take control, sometimes it doesn't seem like it's working. Give yourself a little bit, work on it a little bit, and just see if you can start to learn. Because it feels like on my side, when I give anxiety this much, it's greedy and it goes for this much and then this much. And it tries to control everything with me. That was one of the ways that I was able to overcome and wear my brace. Because anybody who knew me knew there's no way that I could wear this brace. The scoliosis brace is a hard plastic brace that I wear. I have straps on it. I'm currently not wearing it, as you can see, but I have straps on it that tighten it. It holds me up straight, and it helps to hold my spine to where I've done, this work with my chiropractor and with boot camp to reduce some of my curves, and the brace helps to hold it so that it stays with the work that I've done. Sleeping in it at night, anybody who knew me would have lost a bet because I know they would have put money down that there is no way that I could do that. It was something that I made the decision I was going to do and that I would figure it out. It took some work. It wasn't easy. And there was one night after I thought I had this kicked, man, I had this handled. I was sleeping in it and I was doing all right. And I went to bed one night and that anxiety came on me and it's like, get it off, get it off, get it off, get it off. And I had to make the decision to ignore that. I went ahead and loosened it and then retightened it. And I refused to take it off. My mind was telling me, you can't sleep in this, you can't breathe, this is not going to work, you can't do this. Just take it off, just tonight, only tonight. I knew better. I knew if I let it win that night that I wouldn't be able to get it on again. So I refused to. Said no. If I lay here all night not sleeping, then that's what I do. But I will lay here and I will concentrate on breathing and I will be all right. Apparently I fell asleep because a while later I woke up and I was okay. So I don't know. I hope my stories help you. I really do. I took some notes about this scripture. So there's some things that I wanted to bring up as well. One of the things that I questioned myself is, where's my anxiety coming from? And I feel for myself, a lot of times my anxiety comes when I'm least expecting it. Sometimes it comes when I am allowing too many thoughts into my head that are not positive, uplifting, and encouraging. This last one, truly, I think that I brought it on myself because I had been fighting a sinus infection. As y'all know, I was sick, a couple weeks ago. And I I kept thinking about, wow, I'm never sick like this. I don't know why this is lasting. I don't know why I still feel sick. I don't feel as much energy. I mean, I just really was dwelling on how bad I was feeling. And it was funny because I wasn't aware of it. I wasn't paying attention to it. I wasn't thinking about it, but I found that it was common. Anybody asked how I was doing? Well, I'm still not over it. I'm fighting this sinus infection. I'm still sick, and wow, I was like proclaiming the negative. I know y'all go back over my videos and see how often I tell you don't do that. Well, hey, I am human. I am not perfect in any way. And obviously, yeah, I got a real good, example of that for myself. But I guess I throw this out to you. If you deal with anxiety at all, try to stop and think. Maybe journal about it. When you have anxiety, what else is going on? What can you look at and see? Is there some pattern that's allowing that door to open? And is there anything else that you could do differently to help to alleviate it or even eliminate it? So those are just some suggestions I have on that one. Another thing that I had written down is, what if it doesn't work? What if I try doing these things to stop the anxiety and to feel better and it doesn't work? I have options again. See, I'm still in control of what I'm going to do. I can either just stop and let it be and just deal with the anxiety as it comes, or I can try something else, look at something in a different way, do a little bit more research, maybe talk to someone else. Y'all don't understand. If you don't already know how much it helps to talk to someone, I'm telling you, it makes all the difference. But please, please be careful who you talk to. They need to be a safe person. They need to be someone that you can talk to that isn't going to judge you, isn't going to make you feel smaller or belittled or pick on you or tease you about it. It needs to be someone safe, someone that cares. This can be a counselor, this can be a therapist, it can be a trusted friend, a parent. But having someone so you can talk about what you've got going on. And then if that someone isn't someone who specializes in it and they suggest you talk to a specialist, please do. Sometimes the things that we're fighting, there's more reason behind it. I'm blessed because the anxiety that I have dealt with and that I, on and off deal with is not something that is a psychological thing or a chemical thing within me that is harder to overcome than just by changing some of my mindset, some of my outlook, some of what I do. Now, I do talk to a counselor. I have a therapist. She's amazing. And, I do work well with her. So I fully believe in that. But for myself, the things that I deal with, I've been able to not have to have any sort of medical assistance on it. Sometimes that's not the case, y'all. Sometimes I really feel that for people, it does take something extra to help them, even if it's just for a short term, even if it's something for a season in your life, as you learn how to cope, how to change things, how to do whatever's necessary to make your life more manageable for you. Don't try to self-medicate. That is definitely not the way to go. It is not the right thing at all. Make sure that you are under the supervision of a trained professional. But if you need that extra help, it's okay. Don't let anybody judge you on that, and don't judge yourself. It's important to remember that you are important and you are worthy. And what you're going through, nobody else is going through that exact same thing. That doesn't mean you're alone. That doesn't mean you're out there and there's no help for you because nobody else is going through the exact same thing. No, what it means is you are special. You are unique and you are important. And whatever it is that you're going through, there are people who love you that can help you to go through that and help you to overcome it. I wanted to bring up something. If by any chance you are feeling suicidal, if you're here in America, I know that we do have a suicidal helpline. Please don't hesitate to call and get help. This day and age, suicide, I really feel that it should not even be something that we have to mourn over or lose someone for. Not because the need for someone to get that help isn't strong enough. I feel that we should all be aware of how if someone feels like they are at that point, then we need to help. So if you feel at that point at any time that you feel like you're going to harm yourself or someone else, please seek help because there's help out there. If you're not in America, I don't know what's available in your country, but I do know that there's got to be somebody that can help you. So please ask for that help. I know this chat this time was a little bit different. Like I said, I just felt led to do this today. I wanted to share with you because I want you to know that even though I don't personally know you, quite possibly, I'm not sure who's watching at what moment, so, chances are you're not someone I know. But even if you are someone I know, don't hesitate to reach out to me if you want to talk more about any of this. I would love comments. I'd love to know if this has helped anyone. I'd also love to know if you have any other suggestions for me or for anybody else that battles sometimes feeling anxious, that battles sometimes feeling like they're not worth it or that they're unloved. I would also appreciate if you have somebody that you know that could really use this video, share it with them. I'm hoping that the more that we get these things out here and talk to people, the more help that we can provide for people and the more understanding, the more love and kindness. Again, you have control. You have control whether you share this video or not. You have control whether you let this video help you or not. You have control whether you talk to somebody about what's going on in your life or not. And you even have control of the circumstances that are around you in some ways. You may not have control of all things. You can't stop how someone else is behaving or how someone else is feeling or what someone else's opinion is. But you can change how you let that affect you. You don't have to accept negative energy from people. Ain't nobody got time for that. Accept the positive. Focus on the positive. Realize you are important. So I want to thank you so much for sitting with me today. Thanks for being here for this talk. And I hope you have an incredible day. So make sure you hit like, subscribe if you haven't already. Don't forget to hit that little bell so you know when my next video drops. And I want to thank you again for joining me for Moments with Miss Amy.